Should you grade your cards with BGS or PSA? That's a question we get asked a lot, and today I'm going to get to the bottom of it. So strap in, let's get to it. So there's no question that PSA is the one that grades the most cards. I'm at gymrate.com, which I've made a video on in the past, and it's a good snapshot of what trends are looking like amongst grading companies in the industry. So as you can see right here on their blog from April 2nd, PSA graded almost 10 times as many cards as anybody else. BGS, which is the one that we're looking at in this video, only graded 66,000 cards. So it's not very prominent, but they do have good slabs, and I've always liked them, so we want to compare the two. So let's talk about pricing. How much does it cost to grade your cards with PSA? They offer what's called the Collector's Club, which we just wrote about on cardlines.com. The price of the Collector's Club is going from $149 annually to $199. It also includes a card ladder subscription, so that's kind of cool. But anyways, if you're a member, if you pay the $200 to be a Collector's Club member, you can do value bulk cards for $18.99. So that's cards less than $500. Otherwise, for $6 more per card, you can get the value for $500 a card. So this is the non-member. Basically, you're saving $6 by being a member of the Collector's Club. There's also Value Plus. So this is if you want your cards back faster. For an extra $15, you get them back in 20 days instead of 45. So you add $15 and it cuts the price in half. Everything else is for the really expensive high-end cards, and that's not necessarily what I'm writing about. So now we're at Beckett, and the base cards at Beckett grade for $17.95 with subgrades. I'd recommend grading with subgrades. I think it's kind of a common courtesy. It doesn't add a whole lot to the value. Made a video about that before too. But grading with subgrades is just nice, and all the collectors like it, so pay the extra money just for that. So it's about $1 cheaper than PSA for base cards. The standard is like the equivalent of the Value Plus at PSA, and the prices are very in line. Express is 7 to 10 business days for $8 a card. One thing I'm not seeing is declared value or a minimum value. They used to have that, but I don't see that anymore. So this makes it seem like whether your card's $5,000 or $100, you can pay $80 to get it graded in 7 to 10 business days. So in general, just comparing the two, I think it's safe to say the prices are very, very much in line. BGS has a little bit faster turnaround, but obviously they're grading like a 20th of the amount of cards, so they can get them in and out pretty quickly. But now's the next big question: what does the grades do for the value of the cards? Let's check that out. Alright, now's the fun part where we're going to look and see how the grades impact the prices. So I'm trying to find a high population card grade. That's why I'm here looking at Luka rookies. So here's the last one that's sold as an auction. Sold for $87 as a PSA 9, and it sold fairly recently, 3 days ago. Here's another one that sold for $86.55, so it seems like they're pretty darn consistent at selling for about $90 with shipping. So now what about a BGS 9, which is the equivalent grade, of course, but is it the same price? It doesn't appear to be. Here's a BGS 9 of this card that recently sold for $81 with shipping. And the next most recent auction ended at about $83. So it's not a huge difference. It's about 10% difference between the PSA and the BGS at the grading level of a 9. So what about a BGS 9.5? So here's a 9.5 that sold for $171.50. Here's another one that did not sell for nearly as well. It sold for $137.50. And then here's a 9.5 that sold for $175. So it looks like just on average, you're looking at about $160 for the BGS 9. So I'd say on average, you're looking at like about $160, $165 for the BGS 9.5. So now what does a PSA 10 sell for? Here's the most recent auction for a PSA 10, and it sold for $252, so it's about $70, $80 more than the BGS 9.5. And this one did even better. It sold for $270 as an auction, so it's $100 more than the BGS 9.5. So that makes you wonder, are the PSA 10s a lot harder to come by than the BGS 9.5s? Fortunately, we can answer that exact question. So now we're back to Gymrate, and I did a search for this Luka Prism rookie card, and we can get a breakdown of how they've all graded. So the PSA's been graded 37,000 total times, and at a 9 there's 15,000, almost 16,000, and a 10 has been graded almost 20,000 times. So for this particular rookie card of Luka, you can say that over half the cards graded have been graded a 10. That's not the story with the BGS. So it's just from looking at this, about 7,000 of these cards have been graded, and then Gymrate, which for BGS they're counting 9.5s and 10s, it's 200, and then the gem rate, which for BGS they count 9.5s and 10s, is just under 3,000. So you're looking at like 40%. So PSA actually has a higher gem rate than BGS, meaning BGS is grading these cards tougher and they should probably be worth more just on that concept alone. But they're not. So it's a limited sample size, 100%, I admit that, but just the numbers in that particular case tell a pretty clear story. BGS is grading cards harder, and still comparing the values at that 9 to 9 level and then the 9.5 to 10 level, it's very clear you should be grading with PSA. The prices are very much in line with each other, and PSA is grading a lot more cards. There's a lot of them out there, and there's a reason why. The industry favors it. Particularly if you don't need the cards back immediately, PSA is going to be the way to go. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know if you have any thoughts below. See you next time.